All right.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Okay.
All right. Welcome everybody to our first official podcast episode called Letterboxd Leftovers. And on behalf of myself, Xinxin, and my co-host here, Daniel, we want to welcome you to this little film podcast shindig that we're getting started. So for those of you who may not know me, my name is Xinxin. I'm a public interest attorney here in New York City, and I love movies.
My name is Daniel, and I am a seminary student and also a church staff at our church in New York City. And I also love movies.
He does indeed. So maybe a little bit of background of how this whole podcast came to be. Daniel and I, obviously, we love movies, but more than that, we talk about it a lot. We talk about it in church. We talk about it to anyone who has an ear to listen to us talk about movies. And it kind of came up in conversation as sort of a joke, as maybe we should start a podcast because that's what the world needs more of, podcasts, people talking and listening to themselves, right? But I think with the encouragement of people and honestly, the more we thought about it, we were like, we should give it a try. I think creative outlets are always something we're looking for, at least personally. I think I've been needing one.
Yeah, I think because actually, let's get into that later. But what else? Let's get into that later. Yeah.
But regardless, this podcast, I guess, is just our little love letter to movies, and it's called Letterboxd Leftovers because that's what people really resonated with more than our other ones, like totally unqualified movie takes.
Yeah, I mean,
which, anyone out there, if you want to take that one, it's yours. Or the other one, two film nerds sitting on a green couch, an IKEA green couch. So that's also another podcast name we were rolling with, but I think it's appropriate.
I like Letterboxd Leftovers. Yeah. It just always feels like I can't write everything on it. Though I try.
No, it's like me standing on the subway platform after a film, trying to say everything I want to say, and instead just like putting a meme about how Josh O'Connor is awesome or something like that. So
agreed.
Lo and behold, here's Letterboxd Leftovers, and that's a little bit of kind of the background of how this whole thing started. So now that you know a little bit about how this podcast came to be, you're probably wondering what, if anything at all, qualifies us to be these two people sitting on this couch talking about movies ad nauseum. So we want to share just a little bit about our background too, and how we came to love and know movies. So Daniel, do you want to share about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, we're not qualified at all. We're just fans, and we're here because we love movies and we want to talk about movies. We love talking about movies, and we love thinking and processing the films, and that's why we're here. Not qualified whatsoever. Just to share a little bit about myself. I am a seminary student in New York City, but the craziest part is that I was a film student. I grew up loving movies, watching movies, and loving making them. And that single passion sort of led me to go to school for it. And I think, now that I did a pretty drastic 180, like a year and a half ago, and now I'm here doing ministry in New York City, part of our church, and just, trying to have creative outlets to talk about movies, to feel creative, to do creative things. And I think hopefully this can be one of those things. And I'm just happy to be here. I love movies, so
nice. For myself, I am a little bit similar, but also a lot different too in other respects. I studied biopsychology and screen arts and culture when I was in undergrad, and actually my first choice was I wanted to be a theater major. But that was a little bit of complications, and that was a long audition process, so that did not happen. But when I was in college, all I knew was that I loved storytelling. I loved understanding people. And more than anything else, I loved seeing the ways people wove themselves into the movies and the stories that they were telling. And it was just a whole fascinating process for me because as a kid, also, I
Yes.
loved movies, but I don't think I could have verbalized why or,
Yeah.
what about it was so captivating to me. And so that's what I studied in college.
Nice.
And then also a little bit of a 180. I ultimately ended up going to law school a little bit later down the line. And now I'm practicing here as a public interest attorney in New York. But the love for people and the love for stories, that still stays the same. And that's what I do at work still every single day. So now I continue to be a fan of movies. I think New York City is probably the best place to be if you're a movie fan. Honestly,
Agreed.
sorry, LA. Maybe that's my hot take, but I think New York City is the place to be. Yeah, that's a little
That's-
bit about us and about this podcast, but maybe we can also talk a little bit about like what we're hoping the listener,
Yeah.
whomever they may be, would
Yeah.
take away from
Sure.
hopefully or not our ramblings.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have any specific like hopes or like goals. For
Yeah, we're
this
really
podcast.
ambitious people. You could tell.
But yeah, I mean, it's just like us talking about movies and like sort of like letting it out and our attempt in processing the things that we take away from films. Hopefully every episode with different topics. And my hope is that it's just when you guys see this, you guys also feel something, and you guys also want to watch maybe the movies that we talk about. And that's honestly enough for me. Yeah, and then hopefully if I know any of you, we get to talk about it too.
Yeah, in
maybe
person.
we can have you on the show.
Oh,
or something like that.
guest features.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So yeah, I mean, you guys will be able to tell from this episode, but I am a person who seeks fun, and I think this is one of those things of me trying to do that in New York City. So
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun is important.
yeah, that's it. Just have fun.
Yeah. My takeaways, well, or not takeaways, my hopes. I guess I hope that people would take away that filmmaking is an art form. Like, I know that it can be easy to go into a movie and like, oh man, you have to find the time, you have to find the money. Like in New York City, the cost
Yeah.
of a ticket can
Yeah,
be 25 bucks.
It's bad.
It's steep, right? To find that in those 2 hours, these days 2.5 hours, that you're in that dark room with people watching this movie, that something beautiful is happening. And I kind of hope that this podcast helps change that lens that people might view what movies are. And it's getting harder and harder these days because I feel like movies are becoming more and more commercialized, monopolized.
Yeah.
Lots of IPs are, just being like done sequels back to back. But I think movies are an art form, and whether you hated a movie after you saw it or you loved it, if it made you feel something, I think it's worth reflecting about why. And that's my hope for this podcast.
100%.
Or if you listen to this and you're like, movies are just movies, that's okay too. But if it helps to expand even like your worldview or learning about other people, I think that's always a good thing about storytelling.
Yep. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And so,
Shall we?
yeah, why don't we dive right into it? We brainstormed a bunch of different topics
Yes,
for like
yes.
what we would want this episode to be. And we were like, okay, it's the first one. We got to set the tone, set the expectations. And so for this first episode, we're going to be talking about films that made us fall in love with films.
Yes.
Movies that really like changed our brain chemistry, that changed us from the inside out. And so with that, I don't know, Daniel, if you want to like share kind of about the topics or the categories in which we chose these movies from, because honestly,
Sure.
this
that.
podcast would be 5 hours if we didn't.
Yeah. I think
guidelines.
naturally when we were coming up with these movies, I think we sort of like pick the movies under two separate subcategories. Yes, films that made us fall in love with movies. But under that, I think we sort of share the nostalgia, the childhood category of like movies that we watched growing up, movies that like just stay with us forever kind of thing, because we watched it when we were very, very young. And I think we came up with a few of those. And also another subcategory, I think, you said movies that left me in awe. I said movies that either reaffirmed or solidified my love for filmmaking. So obviously, like, these films came a little later as we grew older, and these films came very like naturally, yet sort of changed our brain chemistry, and made us really, really reevaluate our love and reevaluate our passion, and solidified it as well. So I think there's like this trend of like the childhood obviously are very kid friendly, but the other category is very like serious and very deep films that we talk about. Yeah, serious.
Yeah, that's a little serious.
Yeah. So those are the two subcategories that we came up with.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe with that, drum roll please. In the first category for childhood slash nostalgia, I chose, well, I had so many to choose from, but I kind of whittled it down because really for the sake of time, I chose Spirited Away and Mulan. Those were the two movies that I chose. And what were yours?
Mine were Lion King and The Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh, also really good. I feel like Lion King and Raiders of the Lost Ark definitely very like it's always the hero's journey, right?
Yes.
Always an iteration of that. But Daniel and I were joking that his choices are very boy.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
This boy movies.
Yes, very boy movies.
There's nothing wrong with that. So okay, maybe I'll start, and I guess I'll share about Spirited Away and about Mulan. But the first thing I'll say, I guess, about each of these movies is that they are so viscerally tied to like specific childhood memories. Like I can even recall like the texture of like the carpet, or like who was in the room with me at like various times when I like watched this movie, and it speaks to how important it was, but also it's just about like as a kid, like when you have such like wonder and imagination still, and sort of like an optimism about the world, like movies really like mold you in ways that you can't even like verbalize until you're in your 30s and looking back on it now. But so first for Spirited Away, I remember watching this movie, and the movie had come out a couple years earlier, but I had moved into this new neighborhood into the US from Canada, and I was the new kid on the block, right? And that comes with a lot of baggage, a lot of restarting, a lot of making new friends, and I just remembered not really fitting in. The other thing about Michigan, or if you can imagine about the Midwest, is that it's very like suburban, like everyone knows one another, everyone like went to school with each other since they were like, kindergarten, elementary school, middle school, high school, and beyond. It did have a little bit of that feeling, and to be sort of the infiltrator, right? It was really hard, and especially to a new country. I said a lot of things that I didn't know what I was talking about just to fit in. Like they'd ask me about college football and I would just lie. They'd say, go green or go blue. And I was like blue because I liked it as a color. And then later I found out that that's the University of Michigan, and that's where I went to undergrad, which makes it extra funny. But how does this tie to Spirited Away? Well, that's kind of this transformation that Chihiro goes through in the movie. I watched it with a group of my friends when we were just like hanging out, we were like 9 or 10 years old, and my friend invited me over to her house, and I think it was like this moment of like, dang, I'm becoming accepted by this like group, and they invited me over to watch this movie, and I was hooked. I was captivated. I was thrilled.
Yeah.
I was horrified. Like every range of
Oh,
emotions
yeah.
you could
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
in like your tiny 9-year-old body.
Jam-packed film.
Oh, I felt like
Yeah.
from her parents turning into a pig and the horror that that brought to me, or to like her running down the steps to the steamer room, the boiler room, and
Oh,
that
yeah.
step breaking,
Yeah.
and she falls, like the yelp like I let out, to right, like her like eating that giant like pork bun when she's like sitting in the sauna, or not in the sauna, like in the upstairs like chambers for the workers at the bathhouse. Through every part of the movie, it like captivated me, because Chihiro was a girl who had just moved away from a place that she was familiar with, and obviously I was never spirited away to this magical like bathhouse, but I recognized in her every single feeling that I was feeling
Yeah.
at the time. But she was brave, but she was resolved, but she was kind, and I was like, I want to be like that.
Yeah. That's
I want to live my life like that. And so I became obsessed with Spirited Away, you know, became my personality for a while. It's type, it still might be. I mean, Miyazaki, he can never stop making movies. He just turned, I think he just celebrated his 85th birthday or something. So that man is
Legend.
a filmmaking machine. But yeah, that's my first pick.
Nice.
And it really made me think that like the world is open to a lot of possibilities, and that I can make the most out of this new place that I'm in. And even if I'm scared, I can be brave. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fire.
No, yeah, that movie was something else.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah, that scene where the parents become pigs actually like traumatized me. I remember. Yeah.
Or even the feeling of that someone you're so familiar with, that they could become unrecognizable to you.
Yeah.
And or like I like was obsessed for weeks after the movie with this idea of, if my parents were transformed, could I be able to tell which pigs they were in a pigsty, right? Could I pick them out? And I was like, how would I be able to tell? I'm like, what's my dad's tick?
Yeah.
What would I identify about my mom in like a pig format, you know? And it was like so horrifying, but I think that's what it is about the movie. It draws you in to like consider what would you do in those kinds of like circumstances.
Yeah. Wow. Well said.
Thanks. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, it was Lion King. I think Lion King is just so special to me. Because I honestly think it is the first movie I've ever seen in my life. And I watched it every day when I was a kid, when I was a child. And it's like the beginning of everything in terms of my like relationship with movies. It's like my first love. Yeah, I think I grew up into a child who knew that my number one thing was movies. And I think
like that early on.
Yeah. And I think Lion King was the first one. I don't know I remember the colors, the music, the story, the emotions, the growth and the relationships, the good and the bad ones in the movie.
Yeah.
That just like, yeah, it's such a good hero's journey. Like obviously we can speak so much about how great the movie was, but I think it's just so special to me. It's very personal, and it's just sort of like it was like the foundation of me falling in love with movies. And I had like a doll that like I don't even know what it was. Like was it a cat or was it a dog? Like it's very
neither,
like,
both.
Yeah, it had no like telling like features. But I named him Simba, and I
Uh,
would do the pose where like Rafiki like lifts up baby Simba, to announce that this is the new prince of
yeah,
the land.
yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I just have so many fond like memories of like me as a child that was so like intertwined with the film.
Mm,
And I think, um, not just as someone who loves movies, but someone like who grew up to be someone in New York City, 24, like here. I think, yeah, I owe a lot. It feels like I owe a lot to the movie. Yeah,
mm,
yeah. It helped me become such a creative person. It helped
mm,
me become such a, um, yeah, like I think also emotional. Helped me like feel ever since a very young, um, age. And yeah, I mean, of course, there are a lot other factors that goes into that, but
yeah.
I think,
What
yeah,
part of the movie was emotionally like resonated with you or made you
I think it's just that
stir something?
entire like idea of like how Simba is born into this specific identity that he loses, and he goes back, because he is reminded of that, identity by like Mufasa, who's
Mm,
not with him anymore. And yeah, I mean, it's very like biblical,
it
I'd
is.
say.
It is.
Um, and I think it's just that journey of like going back and reconciling with not just like the community that he left, but with himself.
Mm, mm,
And I think, of course, I had no idea what was going on as a child,
yeah.
but I think the way the film is portrayed, the way the film is told, the story is told, I think still got my attention.
Mm,
Still, like, sort of made sense, um, at least like instinctively. So yeah, Lion King. It was like the beginning
yeah.
of my like film journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy you use the word instinctively because that means that there's something within us as like people, as like
Oh yeah.
humanity. Like you can be 3 or 4 or however old you were, and like you didn't need to have studied film
Mm-mm.
or playwriting or
Nope.
screenwriting to understand that this is someone who there's right and wrong that
Mm.
happens, that
Mm.
there's mistakes that they
Yeah.
made, there's redemption,
Mm.
and that moves us. I think
Mm.
that says something about like I guess how we're like built, like in our
Yeah.
DNA as like
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
is to love stories and movies.
Mm-hmm.
And also Hans Zimmer's music. I think
Mm.
that's inherent in
Mm.
people
Mm.
to love that. Um hmm. My favorite scene still, well, maybe not favorite, but it's when they find the juicy bugs. Yo,
The Hakuna Matata scene.
of course,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Yeah.
man, those bugs though, they looked real ripe. Not gonna lie. I was like, should
No.
I eat bugs? It was like elementary school me like
Yeah.
they
Like
they
the
look good.
yeah, like the attention and care in like drawing every single
Yeah.
bug to make sure kids aren't like horrified
Yeah,
by what's
yeah.
happening.
They were like cute and chunky.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
heck?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that.
So good.
Yeah. It's so funny.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
Timon and Simba
Mm-hmm.
and Pumbaa. How
Yeah.
could I forget? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um, ooh, actually, that's probably a good transition
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the next movie I wanted to talk about was Mulan.
Mm.
I don't know if you wanted to be Simba.
Oh, I
but
did.
You
I
did.
definitely
Okay.
did. Yeah.
I wanted to be Mulan.
I mean,
I
that's like honestly more sane
just it's like I'm gonna transform
Eh.
into a lion cub.
than yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you, Mulan, she was cool.
Mhm.
She was fierce. She was devoted to her family and determined. I was like, that's who I want to be when I grow up. I don't know. She might have been like 15 or something like that. And I'm like 6 or like 5 years
Yeah.
old or something. But watching her defeat the Huns is truly like the most inspiring thing. But it was also this feeling of like I saw myself also in her because
Yeah.
she is someone who looks like me, who has my same background, and I think also just it was really rare, like back then, like in the early 2000s, to see an Asian person,
Right.
let alone a Chinese person, who was the main character of a story with agency, with choice, and like conviction. And when you're a little kid, those are the people who become your heroes,
Yes.
like your role
Yes.
models. And I wanted to be Mulan.
Mm.
I was like, I gotta start learning how to ride a horse. I got to. Sorry, mom. We're getting equestrian lessons. I also had the VHS, which I'm sure you probably had various like
Oh
Disney
yeah.
VHSs too.
Yeah.
Maybe not every day, but like probably close to like
Yeah.
at least once or twice a week. I
So
was
good.
watching that movie.
So good.
And it is still somewhere in the basement of our house. I still can feel, I have a memory of like the feeling of the plastic cover, the case that it's in, the VHS. But that movie, the music, I think that was the first Christina Aguilera song that I
Yeah.
ever listened
Wow.
to. And oh yeah, I mean that's a whole other conversation about movies and music. But Mulan was this film too, and on top of that with Spirited Away, where I think they both just made me realize like movies can change you. They can change the way you feel about yourself
Oh yeah.
or how you see the world around you, or like even what you inspire to be. And I wanted to be like Mulan. I wanted to be like Mulan. And the other thing too was it brought me closer to the people around me, right? Like there would be a group of like, you know, like little girls like in elementary school, and we'd like talk about Mulan because that's all we wanted to do. And
Yeah.
then we'd buy the coloring books and the backpacks and all those things, and we would like swap them during
That's so
recess
fire.
and stuff like that.
Man.
Yeah. Shout out to my parents for funding my movie obsession.
Me
But
too.
it
Me too.
blossomed into
Oh, yeah.
something inexplicable. Yeah.
Goes into
So Mulan. Yeah. Shout out to Chinese girls everywhere.
Okay. My other one is in this category of nostalgia. Is as I said, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So
The
good.
first Indiana Jones movie.
So
And I think it was
crazy.
appropriate to like pick this one because it sort of like serves as like the next step from like Lion King, like the Pixar movies that I grew up watching. Now it's like, okay, like I'm growing up. And
Yeah.
like now I'm like watching like a movie. Like
Were you a little older when you
oh yeah, I
watched
think
it?
so.
I hope
yeah,
you were
yeah,
a little
yeah,
older.
it definitely was.
Probably shouldn't be
Yeah.
watching that when you're
Yeah,
30.
that scene of like people melting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like learned a little too late that they started melting because it was the literal glory of God that they are that they're coming face to face with, right?
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah.
open
Ark
the
of
ark.
the Covenant.
Yeah. They open the Ark of the Covenant
Yeah.
and like they're just like showered by God's glory and they just melt because they can't handle it. Like I'm like, what? And
God defeating fascism
yeah.
in
Yeah.
Indiana
No,
Jones.
yeah. But I mean obviously too, like, I don't know, like an elementary school kid, that just like puts the fear in you, you know?
If you close your eyes right now, can you see it?
Oh,
I can
dude,
see it.
100%. Like the fake, like,
Oh my
plastic,
gosh, the goop
yeah,
of
the
their faces.
dough, like eyeballs coming
Oh,
out. Like,
oh,
oh,
man.
yeah, I remember that. But yeah, other than that, like, it was a great movie. I think like it really, sort of like introduced me to the world of like storytelling, perhaps the adult world of storytelling too. And I think to a young Daniel, that movie was like very, yeah, like special. And I remember like when we would do like our church did this like dress up thing for kids, you know, where the parents can just watch them and make fun of them.
That sounds like a really fun event. Yeah.
I was Indiana Jones. Like I was that guy.
So cute.
Yeah,
So funny.
I had to be Indiana Jones. Like what else, right? Like
I still need to see a copy of any photos that exist.
yeah, I mean if I
Your
find
outfit.
it, yeah, I'll send it to you.
Fit check. Yeah.
But yeah, that movie is special. Because I mean objectively it's a great movie. And
For
I
sure.
think it sort of like introduced me to the next step and the next stage of like realm of cinema, where I could like have access to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a little bit more like, yeah, like grown, like risque in certain
mm,
aspects.
mm.
And the stakes, certainly the stakes,
Oh
but
yeah.
the part of adventure where you're just like, there's like, you can save the world.
Yep.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that about
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe
Save the
that's also,
world from the Nazis.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 My gosh, great choice.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good choice. Um,
There we go.
all right. I guess that kind of concludes like the nostalgia
Mm.
category, but now this is where we're launching into sort of the meat and potatoes where it's
Sure.
like we have like supposedly more intellectual thoughts about these next films, but the next category for Daniel, you wrote it as films that reaffirmed or solidified my love for
Mm.
filmmaking. And for me, I kind of like same but
Mm-hmm.
different. Movies that left
Mm-hmm.
me in awe. Like
Yeah.
that's how I thought about it.
Mm.
So I guess I'll just list the ones that I chose.
Sure.
I wrote Interstellar, Apocalypse Now, Redux version, the
Yes.
3.5
Yes.
hour long one.
Yes.
Mad Max Fury Road,
Great movie.
and Chungking Express by Wong Kar-wai.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I said Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve and La Haine,
Yeah.
and No Country for Old Men, and the two Korean movies that I hold so close to my heart, Secret Sunshine and Parasite.
Ooh, all of these movies. Oh my gosh, they're so good. When you were listing yours, I was sort of thinking like, honestly, like if it was another day of the week, like maybe I would have chosen some of those to like be around my
100%.
category
I mean,
too.
vice versa
Yeah.
too for me.
Yeah, especially like Parasite or No Country for Old Men. But okay, I guess like as we like kind of go through them one by one, I'll start with I'll start with Interstellar.
Please.
Awe is the only way to describe that movie. I watched it in Ann Arbor in college, sophomore or junior year.
Yeah.
There was like a special preview showing
Wow.
on film
Wow.
in this like old school theater called the State Street Theater in Ann Arbor.
Nice.
And I went with some friends, and that movie, I'm not, again, this isn't an argument about like, is this the best Nolan? Is this his best script, right?
You could definitely argue, I think.
But it is one of his bolder films to me in the sense where I think what he was trying to say, I think it was more of like, it really felt like it's up to you as the audience to interpret like, what is this movie about? But
Right.
sitting there as like someone who's starting to study film and start to think more critically and analyze things in that theater, just being overwhelmed by the scope,
Yes.
the scale, the literal like gravitas of the movie, like the span of space and time
Right.
that it covers to tell the story of the love between a father and a daughter.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I was floored, like truly, utterly floored. And sitting in that theater, I thought to myself, like, movies can transcend in every sense, like even the story it's trying to tell. Like the
Right.
medium,
Yes.
it
Yes.
outlives the medium that it exists within. And that blew my mind. That like absolutely like blew my mind. And on top of that, like just feeling so small. Like I felt small. Maybe it was the subject matter that made me feel that way, and you know, complex physics or wormholes or whatever it is, but I felt so significantly insignificant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
yes.
I loved it. Because to me I was like, no, but I'm here for just a little while.
Yeah.
And I got to see this movie. Yeah. Oh my gosh, when
great.
Anne Hathaway and the crew with Matthew McConaughey, when they land on the planet
Yeah.
where the entire planet is just covered in water.
Yeah.
I cannot describe in human earthly words the chill that ran through my body when she says, or the character, whomever it was, says like, those aren't mountains, those are
The
waves that
Yeah.
are coming towards them. I
So good.
I was
So
like
good.
shell shocked.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
it's water. It's crazy.
So good.
And the feeling right at the end when Matthew McConaughey accomplishes his mission and he sees his daughter again, who's now elderly, and she says, you know, how she was so sure that her dad would come back, which was because my dad made a promise to me, right? It made the movie feel so like love is that big. Yeah, that's what love is.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm remembering it correctly, there is a scene where they like fly too close to the black hole, and then like everything is like, you know, happening according to the gravity of the situation. And doesn't Cooper say something like, for some reason we're still alive, for some reason this mission is progressing because of, and Anne Hathaway's like, why? And he's like, love or something.
Yes, yeah.
Like I remember
Yeah, I know
like,
what you're talking about.
because I mean Nolan is such a technically gifted storyteller, and he knows how to take a concept that strikes him at the time,
Yeah.
and he construct this narrative around it so that he can just like explore this concept.
Yeah.
And I think Interstellar was the perfect film with the perfect balance between like the narrative force and the conceptual ideas that he brought to the table.
Yeah.
And I think most Nolan films are like this. If you really take away everything from it, it's just very simple. Like the narrative is very simple, and Interstellar is about love that transcends time, literally time and space.
Yeah.
A love that a father has for his daughter that he needs to save. And
and his son. I was like,
right, and his son,
Timothy Chalamet,
Casey Affleck.
Yes, yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I remember loving that film as well. And oh man, yeah, it's love, man. It's very biblical too. I think in a sense, like
I got into maybe argument's too strong word, but I got into fights with people who didn't like the movie or they didn't understand it, and what upset me when talking to them was not so much like I didn't need them to like the movie. Like I was okay if they were like, I don't get it, or I was okay because I don't think I really got it either. So it wasn't ever about trying to convince them to like see the movie the way that I saw it. But I felt like I couldn't understand how someone could not be transformed almost by like what just happened to us, like sitting there in that dark room, like staring up like that. And on top of that, the feeling of like these concepts of love, family, forgiveness, redemption, hope for a future.
Yeah.
Like it can be told however which way it's told, exactly like you say, but at the core, like in the essence of it, it's what brings people even to the furthest distances this universe can take them, and then also brings them back to their family, right, which is the closest thing. And I was like, I'm okay if you didn't like the script. I'm okay if you were like, this is a little too artsy fartsy for me, but to say like I don't think he was trying to say anything or tell me anything, that pissed me off.
Yeah, that's real.
Pissed me off.
Yeah. No, I remember that scene, the ending scene where Cooper like walks into the hospital, and I distinctly remember the camera follows him from his behind, and before he comes face to face with his daughter, her entire family is standing around her.
Yeah.
And then sort of making way for Cooper that, you know, and Cooper has no idea who these people are.
Yeah.
But it's just like this legacy that is left behind, ironically left behind, because he leaves. The legacy that he gets to create by pursuing his mission, by pursuing the love that is so like instinctive to him. And it's a gift. And to love someone like that so sacrificially is a gift. And like that scene, at least the beginning of that scene, like having the entire family around that bed in the hospital room, like kind of came to me as like, oh man, it's like a reward, you know? And
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
Because, but that happens because he sacrificed.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Immensely,
Uh-huh.
unfathomably.
Yeah. Yeah.
His daughter, his son, the grandfather, John Lithgow's character, they suffered immeasurably.
Yes.
And I could see people arguing like, is that worth it? You didn't know. He didn't know.
Right.
And is it naive for a daughter to say, I based it on a promise my dad made when I was a little girl that he'd come back?
Yeah, that's what I'm
but
saying.
it's like, it's the risk.
Yeah.
It is the risk.
Yeah.
I think he would say it was worth it, even if he didn't get to see the mission through to the end.
Oh yeah.
Because for him, it was just about being able to say there would be a tomorrow for his kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So good.
So good.
So good.
My gosh.
Yes.
Yeah. But that's Interstellar. Yeah.
So I picked Prisoners. It's a
Yeah.
very stark difference from Interstellar. Definitely not a feel-good movie. Definitely not.
No, almost
The opposite.
No part of it.
I picked that one because I think I was just so in awe of the technical brilliance of the film. I think it sort of introduced me to this like world of cinematography. And I, to this day, I genuinely believe that Prisoners is, in my mind, on my list of things, like the best shot film, like ever I've ever seen, at least. I think Roger Deakins was DP, and I think
the GOAT.
Yeah, the GOAT. I think the use of shadows, the use of like restraining the lights, because all I remember about Roger Deakins is that he is someone who's technically so gifted. So obviously the companies are gonna fund him. He like overdoes it on sets. That's what I know, at least.
It's like we
just
can pull
so that
out my Roger Deakins book.
Just so that he can have control over everything. But like this film, like, oh my gosh, it felt like he was being so ambitious with the lack and the lack of lighting, the lack of like brightness in general. I mean, it fits very well with the themes and the story itself, but one thing that just like left with me was the use of lighting and how that was used to tell the story, and how lighting is the essential and the central part of cinematography. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there are shots that like come to my mind.
What sticks out to you? I feel like I have a few, but one of the things that like stuck out to me is I'm not a big like cinematography camera work person. Like I think I notice it, but the things that I gravitate towards first are like the mise en place, like the staging, the framing of like the in-frame things, and then also the words, like the script, right? But when the camera work is like forcing my eye to like notice something, I feel like I'm like, okay, if I'm noticing, that I really have to pay attention. But in Prisoners, I think there's just so many aspects where it has to do with like the game that's being played, the concealment of information, doubt, and also sort of like a descent of like a spiraling of like, who do we become when we are at our most like primal. It's crazy. But
Mm.
yeah, do you have like specific shots or
Oh
scenes
yeah,
that
no, I think one thing that comes to my mind, and I bet a lot of people can think of this, is when like, I mean, the movie came out like 15 years ago,
it's
so
okay?
yeah, I'm about to
Spoilers
spoil it.
maybe.
Yeah. Um, when Hugh Jackman's character decides to take matters to his own hands, and he kidnaps Paul Dano's character,
Crazy.
and then he locks him up in like this bathroom.
Yeah, this dingy
Yeah,
gross.
because I mean, he makes the cage himself,
Yeah.
and he has one hole,
Oh,
and then the shot from inside that box, um, Paul Dano's character looking out, peeping out with his one
yeah.
eye, like that is just like it's the fear
Mm,
and like the horror. I mean, we feel it, you know,
yeah.
and I think
But it's a
it's
reversal of who you're fearful for.
exactly,
It's fascinating.
and I think that's just like such a good tool.
Mm,
That shot serves as such a good tool of storytelling, um, and it just like sucks you in to the narrative. And I think, um, when you shoot on set, at least this was how I was taught, in cinematography, like you want to make sure that everything is exposed well, just so that you can have control over those
mm,
things in
mm,
post.
mm.
And I think honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Roger Deakins was like, "Hey, like I just need the eye," you
Yeah.
know.
Mm.
We can lose all the information on like the shadows, because that's so effective. Um,
Oof.
oh man, like that shot is so good, and it's so powerful. It works so well with the narrative, and I think that's another one is like the scene where Jake Gyllenhaal's character is driving in the rain.
I know exactly what
Um,
you're talking about.
but like he has a cut on his like
Yeah.
eyelid, so
Yes.
he can't really see,
Oh my gosh.
and the blood is like
My
running down.
blood pressure
Oh
during
yeah,
that scene.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And like
Anxiety.
the wipers are like the
Oh my
rain is
gosh.
so strong, the wipers are barely working,
Yeah.
and like
Obscured vision.
exactly,
Yeah.
and it's just so faithful to the
Mm,
cinematography is just so faithful to that moment. Like
mm,
we don't see it.
mm.
We feel like we have power over the narrative because we're the audience, but no, like we're actually in the car with him. Like we don't see anything. Um, so I don't know the way Roger Deakins used his camera and lighting, to make us the character.
Yeah.
I think was something that I had never experienced before,
Mm,
and technically, like it opened my eye,
mm.
like, and I was like, oh wow, like, yes, like to that point probably I was like, yeah, like movies are all about the storytelling, movies are all about the screenplay, yes, to an extent, but like how are you gonna show it
Right. The
can
how.
actually make or break the movie. um and I think that film was the first film where I learned that. Yeah,
I
I
need to
mean,
rewatch that movie. It's
just
been a
such
minute for me.
a, oh my goodness, like phenomenal. I mean, the story itself is already
Yeah.
incredible, and the acting obviously
Yeah.
is great.
Yeah.
um but yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely recommend. That is why Prisoners from 2013, yeah, I think,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
uh-huh,
Over a decade now.
yeah,
That might
is
have
on
been
the
my
list.
first Paul
They,
Dano film. No, no,
oh,
no. Country for Old Men actually was the
mm,
first thing I ever saw him
mm,
in. But
mm,
um, amazing movie.
mm-hmm.
Um, okay, should we move on?
Sure, sure.
Um, my next one. Oh, I hesitate to even bring it up because I'm like, I need like a Herculean amount of time to talk about this movie. But for what I can say about Apocalypse Now
Mm,
is this movie made me realize that you can take s- written material
yeah,
has already
yeah, yeah,
existed
yeah.
and make it even better
Mm-hmm.
than what it was before.
Yeah.
So Apocalypse Now was Coppola's vision for the book The Heart of Darkness
Yeah.
by Joseph Conrad, which I believe was written in the late 1890s, which was about a man navigating the Congo River
Mm.
in Africa. And Apocalypse Now is sort of well recontextualized in the Vietnam War, following sort of this similar journey of Martin Sheen's character searching for Marlon Brando, who has become almost like a god, like a
Yeah.
mythologized, mysterious man. We don't know if he is alive, if he's dead,
Yeah.
who he's become, but as we follow these characters in the Vietnam War, we see different aspects of war, the
Mm.
different components of how it affects the soul of a man.
Mm-hmm.
And also just like a treat also for the eyes, but the script and just the the filming of that movie, it is really a miracle that it was made,
Yeah.
right? I'll never forget the first time I watched that film was I think junior year of college,
Mm.
and I was in a film screening class, so we would go to an auditorium and we would watch a film, and we had to take notes because we had to write reflection papers and stuff. And I'll never forget watching this movie, and there's Robert Duvall's character who is like Captain Kilgore, I think is his name. And like the one thing you're supposed to take away about this man is that he seems to love war.
Yeah.
He thrives in
Yeah.
war. He loves the smell of napalm in the morning, right?
Yeah.
But I'll never forget the scene where just the little things where he was about to bend down to offer water to a Viet Cong soldier, and then he got distracted and he never actually gave the water to that person.
Yeah.
I just remember being floored by that.
Yeah.
That in the hustle and bustle of a conversation and the movement, as these characters are walking by, something he forgot to do told me everything
Yeah.
I needed to know about him. Everything from the legendary opening scene of the fan overhead of Martin Sheen's character becoming the fan or the blades of a helicopter, right? To the ride of the Valkyrie,
Valley of
like
Valkyries.
the movie. Oh my gosh, or Marlon Brando talking about like horror, like you have to look into the face of horror, but his face is also obscured by the darkness, and you never fully see
So good.
this bald-headed man. Who is he, right? The movie is it's I think it might be, in my opinion, I think the greatest war film ever made.
Oh, definitely.
But
you can make an argument for that.
I think on top of that, it's a movie about the psyche of a man and how you think you can have such resolve and such principle, but when you encounter enough atrocity, you too will find that you are no longer the same person when you started. And bearing witness to that, as like a 19, 20-year-old girl, you're just like, oh my gosh, wow, this is what I needed on like, oh, Thursday evening at like 8 p.m., when the screening classes were. So that movie amazes me. Yeah. Is it the kind of movie I would just like pull out to like watch whenever I'm like,
oh, you cannot do
like
that.
chilling? No, but like it's sobering, and it's also incredibly like it's harrowing to watch. Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And yeah, the behind the scenes of that movie is
Oh
also
yeah.
crazy.
Horror stories.
Also the horse. I
Yeah.
don't. Yeah, was it this movie? I think it was this movie where they actually killed a horse in the
Oh,
making
really?
of the movie. Yeah,
Oh.
and that's partly why animal
Gosh.
welfare laws
Yeah.
and animal safety.
Yeah.
And that little thing at the end of the movie that says no
Yeah,
movies were
yeah,
harmed
yeah,
in the
yeah.
or no animals were harmed in the making of this film. I think it came because of Apocalypse Now.
Oh wow.
You might have to fact check me on that,
Oh, I did not know
but I
that.
think that's it. Yeah.
Great film.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should we move on?
Oh yeah, I think we need to move on.
Yeah. Okay. I think the next one that I want to talk about is actually, yeah, I'll skim over No Country for Old Men because I forgot to sort of group it with Prisoners. I think that movie is also just like technical brilliance in terms of cinematography. I think I'm reminded of this one shot where oh my gosh, I'm blanking on his name. Javier Bardem.
Yeah, Anton Sugar.
Yeah, Javier Bardem's character walking into the house with his milk, and he sits in front of the TV, and
The most terrifying drink of all.
yeah, and then this shot is just the TV's reflection of this man just sitting. I don't know why that just sat with me and stuck with me like for a while. I think that like there are so many things that indicated that this man is a horrifying, like horrible villain. But like that shot was the one that stuck with me the most. And I think I remember like trying to dissect that shot, and then really like dive into it. And I think I was definitely like making some judgments that are, very far fetched, and it was a stretch. But I think the essence of it was that like, these reflection shots are supposed to represent something of that reflection of what's being reflected. And I think that being a TV, I thought it was like very, very interesting. This like very meticulous, like technical advancement of how every single pieces have to come together in order to produce something that is born to do. I think it was so almost like sort of like this reflection of how this man thinks, of how this man lives his life, making sure every detail of the journey that he's on, of the thoughts that he's having, of the things that he's consuming, even the things that he's doing, like that has to go his way, that has to go perfect to the T. It just like sort of like made me like reaffirm like this idea of who this man is. And I'm pretty sure there's also a shot of Josh Brolin's character doing the same thing, but it's reflected on something else.
I have to refresh my
Yes.
memory. But Josh Brolin's character, but that's what's interesting is he's the one with supposedly he's supposed to be the good guy, right? In the sense that he's the sheriff of the police, right?
Yeah.
But Javier Bardem's character, he is this man who is meticulous and yet also, right? He honors the coin flip. He honors the universe today.
His code.
Yes, has decided that you will not die.
Yeah.
And he will leave. Right? But that is really interesting. But I think there is that parallelism between the two of them for sure.
And I think I went away with that like idea of this man through that shot because I am pretty sure there is like another shot of Josh Brolin and it's a reflection of him, but it's reflected on something else. Like it was probably like a mirror or something that was more pure, that was more natural, that was more familiar, I think. And I think that's why the parallel and the juxtaposition of those two characters, like, again, showing through cinematography. Yeah. Roger Deakins, right? Probably.
Again, oh, is it?
Yeah.
You really are a Roger Deakins stan.
I think it was Roger Deakins.
I was like, all these things we have to correct later.
Like you see, like these, like when I was in a film school, I would know these things. I'll tell my mind.
Oh, we're becoming soft.
Yeah, I am becoming soft.
Yeah, because I just looked it up. I realized in Apocalypse Now, it was the water buffalo that was cut in half, not the horse.
Like I mean,
things we would know.
So I grouped that with Prisoners. I mean, you know what? Yeah, we can move on from that, and then you go ahead. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. So, Mad Max, Fury Road specifically. I did see the original Mad Max. I had to watch it in also a film school class. Very different, and yet also spiritually, I think the sequel of what George Miller's world was, and like I loved Mad Max because it was a film that really I think it impacted me because I didn't know how I felt when it ended.
Yeah.
I think I was like wrestling, right? It's a movie, for those of you who maybe have or have not seen it or haven't seen it, of you go on this journey with Furiosa and Max to bring these women out of bondage, essentially, out of slavery, human trafficking, abuse, to find this like paradise, this land, in a desolate place, and you go on this risky journey to find it, only to discover that it's gone. And actually, what they have to do is to go back to the very beginning, the place they left, to reclaim it.
Yeah.
Right? To show that they will no longer allow their oppressors to oppress them. And I I think I grappled with this feeling of like, dang, they ended right back where they started. But that to me was actually, in hindsight, I was like, man, that's really powerful. But I had a lot of conversations with people who did not like that about the story. They thought it was like a waste of time, right? But I was like, it wasn't a waste, because Furiosa gets the confirmation about this place that, since she was a little girl and ran away from, no longer exists. So it shatters like that hope to a certain extent. Mad Max finds a version of redemption for the family that he lost. And these women are freed, but having to leave sort of the isolated chamber that they were in to get a taste of the real world. And even like Nicholas Holt's character, right? He saw the brutality. He thought, right, like, witness me, I'm going to Valhalla. But to realize that the greatest sacrifice is to die for someone you love, right? To lay your life down for someone you love, for love, to be really seen, is not to die a warrior's death, but with someone who loves you and knows you. And Mad Max is a movie that, obviously, the editing, oh my gosh, insane, high octane, truly, in every sense of the word. And also so tender in the moments when it is, like, when, like, the interactions between Max and Furiosa, like two stone-hardened like warriors. They're never gonna let their guard down. But you see the way that after Max like sort of like proven himself to protect them, that they build a rapport reluctantly. I just feel like
so good.
It's a movie that my friends and I were talking, like, this is feminist cinema.
Oh no,
like really, in like maybe like a very like foundational basic way, but I think also like when you dig into it, this is about agency, this is about bodily choice, this is about reclaiming of like a land that is literally dead, and then redistributing what was like hoarded to the people, right, in a wasteland, finding an oasis in a wasteland. And so love Mad Max.
Great.
I get it if some people it's not their cup of tea. I think it does take like adjusting to, from like the bright scenes to the dark scenes, the color of the sandstorms that they drive into, but the grade, like the color grading itself, but it's so part of sort of like the exaggeratory like nature of the movie. But I think that's what happens when it's the end of the world. I think we all go a little crazy. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, why not spray paint my mouth? With silver.
When you die.
Yeah, why not have Doof Warrior, the flamethrower guitar guy, in front of my truck that I'm driving? So you know. But Mad Max, it left an impact for sure.
That idea of like going back to where you started, and feeling like the reaction that you were talking about, how like people feel like there's like a waste of time, there's nothing that like actually progressed, but then in reality there was a lot of progression within the characters. They go through their own emotional and growth and arcs. And I think that idea of like the beginning and ending being the same, like the bookend ending of the films, but like obviously there's so much that happened that changed everything. I think an interesting like parallel to that was Taxi Driver. Travis Bickle, like Robert De Niro's character, like he goes through this like hero's arc, right?
Yeah,
But then
hero.
but
Our
then
hero
nothing
POV.
changes
Yeah.
internally,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like honestly, it's like an opposite of Mad Max where like
Yeah.
the characters end
Yeah.
up where they started, but then Taxi Driver's like so many things, so much happened, but then there's no change within the human being.
Yeah.
And I think,
Huh.
yeah,
That's interesting
yeah,
though. I think it's also his motivation was always like an
yeah,
internal
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
one, right? And I think the greatest change happens when you live for something greater than
Mm-hmm,
yourself or
mm-hmm,
for
mm-hmm.
other people. And
Right,
I think that's what all the
right.
characters in like Mad
Yeah,
Max
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
go through.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It reminded me when you said that. It reminded
Yeah.
me of Taxi Driver. It's just like
Mm.
I was like thinking about that.
Another great movie
Another great movie that we
Yeah.
will talk about
in the
another.
repertoire of
Yeah.
Robert De Niro films.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
which one do you want to talk about next?
Okay. I think I will group La Haine and Parasite.
Interesting grouping.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm like trying to think about the common denominator, and I think the only thing that I can think of is that like these two films are, by my definition, the closest thing to perfection on screen. And that's a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's heavy.
Yeah.
But I genuinely
okay.
believe, technically speaking, these two films are like unmatched.
Yeah.
And I think a side thing. I think Do the Right Thing and La Haine. My theory is that you will like whatever you watched first.
Oh, we talked about
we
this
did talk
because
about
I
this.
like Do the Right Thing. I mean, I love La Haine also.
But
Yeah.
I watched La Haine first,
I
and
watched
I
Do
had
the Right Thing.
no
first.
idea
Yeah.
what was about to like unfold in front of my eyes. And then I was just sitting in front of my desk for like 10 minutes trying to like process what I just witnessed. And I just genuinely believe like Parasite and La Haine is closest thing to perfection because my standards of pacing is very important when it comes to storytelling. Other than like I guess it's another technical term, like the pacing of the film, the beats and the breaths they take. I think Parasite and La Haine are like they take every single necessary step at the right time to deliver this story. And I think that's why I'm like trying to group these two. And I think I remember
That's really accurate.
Yeah, we were talking about how like films to watch instead of going to film school. You know, like very corny.
You would pick these two.
Yeah, I would pick these two, honestly. I think yes, the cinematography is awesome. The acting is great. The story itself is great too. The message it's trying to send, both are very strong. But I think by far, if I have to choose one thing that these two films like are perfected in, is the pacing. And yeah, the way it goes through linear time. Man, it's just so good. I wish I could talk more about these things. Talk more about these movies. More about this movie, like other than the pacing. But man, like for the sake of time, I think those two are grouped together because of that.
Yeah. Your point about Do the Right Thing and La Haine is interesting. I do agree, but I also think it's like maybe it's the cultural differences,
yes,
right? Like the addressing of race, police brutality. I think it's very different
yes.
in the Francophile context versus like in New York City.
Yes.
But I think also Do the Right Thing has there is like a playfulness. Is that the right word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Humor.
No,
maybe that's like Spike's like his directorial voice coming through, but there is, because I think that is part of like the built-in like how people of color who are surveilled by police like deal with, right, and integrate and assess the world in terms of like safety, community, like in dealing with racism. I think in France there's a much stronger like lineage of surrealism, and also sort of like existentialism, and that's what makes the pacing so interesting, because there's also elements of like boredom,
Yeah.
elements of
Yeah.
sort of like three young men in
Same-
Paris, just
doing
like
nothing. Hanging out.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and but that's part of it
That is
because
part of it.
that's them learning to survive.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, in Paris
Yeah.
at a time
Yeah.
where or in a neighborhood that maybe was not safe.
Oh yeah.
Seen as safe
Yeah.
for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Do the Right Thing had a lot more liberty um that they took on in like telling the story and showing, Bed-Stuy
Yeah.
during that time. And I think as a Korean American, as an Asian American, I can
Especially,
definitely
man.
relate to the cultural context of Do the Right Thing way more than Lehen.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you're right, like they are very different in telling the story.
Yeah.
And I think the in awe aspect of it, I think Lehen was stronger, even though I couldn't fully understand the cultural context, what it meant to be a POC in France, in Paris at the time. But yeah, I mean, there's a literal Korean family in Do the Right Thing. And
there is indeed.
Yeah, and
There
I
is
was like, oh
indeed.
my gosh, like representation, I guess. I mean, not about us. It was not about us for sure. But it was great to see the dynamic between the model minority and African Americans, and then there's also the Italian who are also immigrants.
Yes.
And it's just this like beautiful like exploration of like different perspectives, but they're also like sort of in the same basket kind of thing. But very different perspectives.
Not to make it this even longer, what do you think of the ending of Lehen?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think again, like going back to the surrealism thing, like the film is
French.
perfected. Yeah, the film is perfected by the ending, I think. And I was just like, at times I'm like just feeling these things that these two, so at times I'm just like feeling what these three men are feeling, and thinking what these three men are thinking, and I'm like, where is this gonna go? And the ending is just perfected. Yeah, it just perfects the film. Yeah. So what about you? Did you like which ending would you prefer between the two?
Between Do the Right Thing and Lehen? There is something about the ambiguity, I guess, with Lehen that I don't know. Prefer is an interesting word.
Sure, it is an interesting word. Sorry.
I can't say, but I do think they both accomplish what they're setting out to accomplish. I do find that in terms of pacing, I think Lehen really excels at like the playing with time in that respect. In a better, I hate to use the word better, but I don't know, but like an interesting way. I don't know. I can't say. It's really hard for me. Again, I think I really do. Maybe I do gravitate
towards
an
unfair question.
Right thing because I saw it first.
The right thing's great.
Yeah.
So good.
But I was like, do we show love to Parasite? Parasite. What more can we say that hasn't already been said by people much smarter than me?
I mean, I don't know. I think brilliant moments. Pacing is perfect.
It is
almost like two different films stitched together, very intentionally. Yeah, it's like that idea of like, okay, like I think I'm getting what the story's getting at. This family trying to infiltrate this other family, trying to make a living out of it. Okay, but then like we're like an hour, like 40 minutes in, and the mission's accomplished. Like
never forget.
Yeah, and like okay, now what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think every single dialogue, every single line, every single beat, every single like detail of the film is just like placed perfectly to progress. And I think Don't Look Back running kind of film. Like,
Mm.
yeah, it almost felt like that. And yeah, I mean, tension at its finest. And yeah, man, yeah, yeah,
Every scene, like it just made the stakes so much higher.
yes, yeah.
And also every scene, it was like a beautiful like tennis match of like it kept changing the word parasite and what it means. Who
Mm-hmm,
is the
mm-hmm,
parasite? Where is the parasite? Like first it's them swindling the family to
yeah,
get the job, then it right becomes the housemaid and her husband who have been living off of this family, but also it's this rich family and the way they view their workers or
oh
the
yeah,
business or the people or the societal like clout they have and like the parties that they go to or whatever it may be, or the camping or eating
yeah,
chapaguri or all these things. It's just such a like dynamic usage
so good.
of the pacing to like keep you guessing,
Yep,
but I think to ultimately like really hammer in this idea of like there are parasites
yeah,
in society, maybe not the ones that you initially thought.
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
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 We can move on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, my last one. Chungking Express. Everyone chooses In the Mood for Love.
Yeah.
I love In the Mood for
Oh yeah.
Love. But for this purpose, movies that made me fall in love with filmmaking, I love Chungking Express because it, to me, is the perfect usage of an anthology,
Mm,
like parallel stories to tell what it means to be a young person
mm,
growing up
mm.
in Hong Kong in that time frame. But also
Yeah.
this idea of like um, that you there to be young is to loiter around. It's to fall in love with someone who doesn't like you back. It's to have a job and realize it's a dead end job. It's to start a relationship with someone that you're like, I have no idea where this is going, but
Yeah.
I'm already committed to them for the rest of my life. Like Chungking Express is about just right these duos of young people navigating the high pace environment of like a changing
Yeah.
modernizing world and asking themselves like who am I,
Mm,
like who do I want to be,
mm.
what do I care about, and sort of also it's very romantic in
Mm-hmm.
like the traditional word way of using that word where it's like you're living a life that is so fully just for yourself. And I mean like all of the characters, they make decisions whether it's to loiter around like a shop to
Mm,
catch the attention of someone you're interested
mm.
in, or to pursue someone who you know is probably not good for you and
Yeah.
has like a
Yeah.
shady background. Like these characters are also richly complicated, but they're young. And I think it impacted me because I was like, I don't know who I am.
Mm,
I
mm,
don't know who
mm,
I am.
mm, mm,
And the movie, it felt like it was saying, I'm giving you permission to make mistakes
mm.
and figure it out and to
So good.
change your mind. All sort of in the really like lush environment that was like Hong Kong, China, like in the 90s.
Yes.
There's such like a
Brilliant.
beauty to that movie. Um, yeah, it doesn't get as much love as In the Mood for Love,
Mm.
and I get it. I think In the Mood for Love has sort of like that will they won't they sensuality yearning thing that everyone loves, but Chungking Express is also like it just hit me in my heart the first time I watched it. Also at a very sort of like pivotal transitional time in my life. What was that? Maybe between junior and senior year of
Mm,
college.
mm.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's when I watched it too. Yeah. Like, yeah, around that time. Man, so good. So
Yeah.
good. California. California.
California dreaming on such a winter's day.
Man, Faye Wong and Tony Long. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I should rewatch that movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's been a couple of years for
yeah.
me.
Yeah. I think Wong Kar-wai is just a master of like evocation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mood. Oh, and setting moods.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
tones.
Yeah.
Like just like an atmosphere that it's like drenches like
Mm-hmm.
every
Mm-hmm.
scene.
Yeah, and I think the way he makes films is also like so faithful to that idea of like as long as the mood is there, as long as this feeling is there,
Yeah.
like I can do whatever in it.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, I mean, I've heard that famously, like he doesn't shot list with this cinematographer, which would be a nightmare for some of you guys. Um, he just like finds the angle,
Yeah.
shoots it, and
But when you have such clear vision,
mm-hmm.
what happens then in like a movie like Chungking Express or In the Mood for Love is they don't have to be saying anything.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
exactly what he's trying
Exactly.
to communicate.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Regretfulness, mournfulness.
yeah.
It's it's just so good.
Yeah. I mean, isn't it wasn't it the case where he finished half of the film and then he brought it to Cannes? Chunking Express?
Is that what I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
This
Like,
podcast, we're just like making up wild rumors, but
yeah,
no,
I
I
mean,
believe you.
yeah, I mean, if you want to come and correct us, you better watch it, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, Chunking Express, man, I think, man, it's just like everything. The only thing that I remember from Wong Kar-wai films is like how I felt and like the feeling that the film was tackling, and oh man, he's a master at that.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to rewatch the movie. And the other thing I thought when I watched it for the first time is, can I pull off a pixie cut like Wong Fei? The answer is no.
Icon.
Yeah, but
Icon.
I thought about it for a hot second.
Icon.
Bye.
Yeah.
Is that all of our movies?
No, actually, we got one last.
What's the last one?
That's from me.
Ah.
That I did not talk about. And I think when you pick your top 4 on Letterboxd, the way I do it is like the first, like on the left is like obviously your first,
Yeah.
even though it's not in like order.
Yeah.
Like the way I saw it is like the left one is the first and then descending. And I think Secret Sunshine has been on my number 1 spot for ever since I downloaded the app. Like I don't think it changed. I think the rest changed a lot a few times. But Secret Sunshine stayed there ever since I downloaded the app.
Yeah.
And I think
my honest confession is I've not seen this movie, so
it's-
you'll really
it's
have
all
to let
good.
me know.
It's all good.
Yeah.
I think so. For those who are not familiar with the movie is a Korean movie released in 2007 by the director called Lee Chang-dong, and he also directed films like Burning. That is very popular, and Peppermint Candy, all these films. And he was a novelist before, so his films carry this weight that's unlike any other films that I've seen that are released from the Korean industry. And this movie is about a mother who loses her child, and this is her journey with God. And I think as a Christian, this film definitely made me think, made me reflect on what I believe in and the weight of that faith and the weight of just like where I put my faith in. And I think the director himself is not Christian. I don't think he's religious, but he does sort of tackle a lot of the issues within the Korean church, in a very, very Korean context, and also like what it means to, really put your faith in something, put your faith in God, or put your faith in your relationships, or whatever that may be. And it tackles this like very, very important question that all of us probably will or have asked. What does it mean to believe? And I think this movie, I'm borrowing from someone. He's a critic, very popular in Korea, and he said that this movie is the depth of Korean cinema, and the depth, the deepest the Korean cinema will ever get. And I think it's because it asks questions that are so central to our identity,
Mm.
through a narrative that is very heartbreaking.
Mm.
And I just have so many things to talk about. And I think, yeah, this actually shook me to the core, because
Ooh.
before being a film lover, before being like an artist, I think my faith comes very close, very important to. I mean, for both of us, and I think this film directly like shook that, so shook the core of my identity, in a good way.
In
I'd
a
say.
good way.
I don't
Like
think
a
I was
rebuilding
Mhm.
way.
I don't think I was, discouraged by it. But I think I was definitely challenged by it,
Mm.
and it actually solidified and strengthened my faith.
Mm.
And I give thanks, honestly, to the director,
Mm.
and also the actress. The funniest thing is that like she won Best Actress at Cannes for this film,
Mm.
and she wasn't married, I believe, when she made this movie, so she didn't have a child.
Wow,
She
I see.
she didn't know what was like to be a mom, but still, like, she delivered a performance that was, yeah, worthy of that acclaim and worthy of that attention, and it definitely, yeah, shook a lot of people. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's definitely a slow burn, a very long film, but if you are willing to be challenged as a Christian, please check it out. Check it out. It's a phenomenal film.
Daniel's now discipling us.
No. I'm in no position yet. But yeah, that film is definitely, definitely something that a film that I will carry for the rest of my life.
I deeply respect movies that invite us to be willing to be undone, or to ask why we believe the things that we do. Why do we see ourselves the way that we do? In terms of faith, like, I can only think of a handful of movies that really directly challenge like a belief system. But I feel like movies in general, like, they are life affirming in so many ways, right?
Yeah.
Because they all are answering to a certain extent, like, what do we care for? Why are we here? Who put us here? Does any of this matter?
100%.
I guess I feel that way about, like, the way you were talking about Secret Sunshine. I was thinking about, like, Silence, or like any Malick film, Terrence Malick film, where it's just like there's a feeling of like, I believe something. It hurts me sometimes to keep believing it, and yet I cannot find life anywhere else outside of believing in it. And it has been torn down, built back up, and then shattered again, and then built up again. But that is the only way to go through it.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it's designed, I think, too. Yeah. It's not supposed to be easy.
Don't we know it?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't we know it? Yeah, it's not supposed to be easy. Yeah. Gosh, I love movies.
Man, that was it. That was my list as well.
Yeah, that was my list. I don't know. I don't know if there's like any parting words you wanna say, but
I mean, again, the hope is that through this episode, if you are still with us,
if you are, God bless you.
Yeah,
Come
God
find
bless
me
you.
at church.
This is our first time doing this.
I'll give you a hug or a fist bump.
But what I was saying is, like, if you feel led to check out any of these films that we're talking about, mission accomplished.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
And come find us and tell us what you think.
So,
including if you hated it. Seriously, please tell us.
I honestly welcome those more.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, this is our first attempt at this podcast thingy that we that was on our notes app for a while, and now it came to life. And yeah, I guess
Thanks for watching or listening to Letterboxd Leftovers.
Letterboxd Leftovers. We will see you in the near future.
Bye bye.